Coming up in this week's episode of Coast News, a historic milestone is made as a record-shattering attraction begins testing in Saudi Arabia, and the newest iteration of a classic attraction at EPCOT officially opens. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News. And as always, we've got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, Falcon's flight has officially begun testing at Six Flags Qiddiya City. And it just honestly, I keep saying this every time we see any sort of update to do with this ride, it still doesn't seem real that this is actually happening. That this brand new attraction now has trains on the track that are moving along that track at the fastest speeds any roller coaster that has ever gone. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Falcon's Flight is a brand new roller coaster currently under construction at Six Flags Qiddiya in Saudi Arabia. The new coaster is the world's first exocoaster from Swiss manufacturer Intamin, and will be the headline attraction of the brand new Six Flags Qiddiya theme park located outside Riyadh, opening at the end of this year. First announced in 2019, the park was originally set to open in 2023, but was delayed due to the pandemic. Construction began on Six Flags Qiddiya a couple of years later, with track for Falcon's Flight being completed in late 2024. Over the next few months, several attractions at the park will begin their testing phase, with Falcon's Flights commencing soon after. Six Flags Qiddiya is part of the Qiddiya City mega project, with the goal of becoming the world's first city fully dedicated to play. Six Flags Qiddiya is estimated to open at the end of this year. After testing began, Falcon's Flight was officially declared as the tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster on planet Earth. So yeah, there you have it. You know, it's been 6 years in the works, more than that. Well, it was announced 6 years ago, but obviously it's been in the works longer than that. It's been in the works for a long time, potentially a decade even. And now that this ride is testing, and according to, I believe it's the Guinness World Records, a roller coaster, to have any sort of like major records declared on that ride, it has to have trains on the track, and those trains have to be in motion on the track. It has to complete a full circuit around the track. So now that Falcon's Flight has started testing, it has officially taken the title from Top Thrill 2 as the world's tallest roller coaster. It has taken the title from Formula Rossa as the world's fastest roller coaster, and it has taken the title from Steel Dragon 2000 as the world's longest roller coaster, which is absolutely crazy. It kind of does sort of cheat with its max height, with the highest point on the ride being located on top of a mountain. But even still, after that huge 600-foot drop, you've still got the massive Camelback Hill, which is about 500 odd feet high, which is just crazy. Honestly, it is crazy. This probably would convince some people that it was like, you see videos of it thinking it's AI generated. It's not, it's real. And I honestly can't wait to see what people think of this ride when actual humans are sat strapped in the seats and riding Falcon's Flight for the first time when it opens, hopefully at the end of this year. In other news today, Test Track has officially reopened at EPCOT. And honestly, I am so glad that they've given this ride a new lease on life. Don't get me wrong, the only version of it I've ridden, Test Track 2.0, when it was sponsored by Chevrolet, I love that version of the attraction. But I'm sure this brand new iteration attraction is just as good, if not better. But if you don't know what's going on, let's go. Test Track is a dynamic attractions high-speed dark ride located at EPCOT at Walt Disney World in Florida. Originally opening in 1998, Test Track has gone through 2 major refurbishments in its lifetime, with its second refurbishment being completed this past Tuesday. Replacing the World of Motion attraction, which was an opening day attraction back in 1982, the main theme of Test Track has always focused on the rapid advancements and new technologies which play a part in the evolution of the motor vehicle. In 2023, Disney announced that Test Track would be closing in its then current state and would receive an overhaul inspired by World of Motion. The second iteration of Test Track, which was sponsored by Chevrolet, closed in June 2024. Soft opening for Test Track 3.0 took place from the 11th of July 2025, and General Motors, who sponsored the original version of Test Track, had once again returned as the ride's sponsor for the first time since 2012. Though the interactive SIM car technology from Test Track 2.0 has been removed, a new storyline, new special effects, narration, and an entirely new musical score, along with several other enhancements, have all been introduced to Test Track. Yeah, judging by the looks of it, they've completely refreshed this whole attraction. They've also changed like the whole like style of it. Like when it was Test Track 2.0, it was like very sort of like a futuristic, like kind of like as if you were going to like one of the Tron films or something. That's kind of the best sort of description I have for it, because that's very much what it looks like. And it also had the interactive SIM car feature to it, where before you got on the ride, you could design your own car for Chevrolet. They've taken that out since that, but they've given it a completely whole new look. And yeah, actually, honestly, looks so cool. And I like how they've taken inspiration from the original World of Motion attractions. So, judging from what I've seen, they've gone with like a very sort of modern and futuristic look, but also kind of retro at the same time, if that makes any sense. Which I'm honestly quite a big fan of now that I think about it. And yeah, I hope that this new version of Test Track lives up to previous iterations of the attraction. Also in the news today, AlpenFury has officially opened at Canada's Wonderland. Now this ride does honestly look like it is such a game changer for Canada's Wonderland and for the whole Canadian theme park scene. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Canada's Wonderland's newest attraction officially opened on the 12th of July 2025. AlpenFury is a Premier Rides skyrocket coaster located at Canada's Wonderland in Ontario, Canada. Standing at 164 feet tall, with a drop of 154 feet, reaching a top speed of 71.5 miles per hour, and travelling 3,280 feet of track, AlpenFury is officially the tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster in Canada. AlpenFury also contains the most inversions on any roller coaster in Canada, with 9 in total. Along with AlpenFury being the park's 18th operating roller coaster, it is also the third operating roller coaster to intertwine itself with Wonder Mountain, Canada's Wonderland's main centerpiece. The second launch out of the top of the mountain is very reminiscent of Volcano the Blast Coaster, which formerly operated at King's Dominion from 1998 until 2018. So yeah, whether that whole bit I just mentioned about the launch out of the top of the mountain was a deliberate sort of reference to Volcano, which used to operate at King's Dominion, I don't know, but either way it's still a really cool feature to have on that attraction. And yeah, this ride actually looks crazy. Like I've seen like videos of it and whatnot, but obviously I've not seen it in person. So I imagine, because it's quite close to the entrance as well, so you literally walk up to the park entrance, you see this huge roller coaster coming out of the mountain. That might actually make quite a good impression. Like when you first walk into the park and you see that, you're thinking, wow, that actually looks insane. And it looks like an incredible ride experience as well. It looks like it's got pretty much everything. It's got the height, it's got the speed, it's got the inversions, it's got the really cool, unique feature of intertwining itself with the mountain. And yeah, it looks quite intense overall. And it looks like people who have ridden it have loved it so far, so that's very promising. And I'm so glad this ride has finally opened, and it's actually a nice change to have this, along with other new attractions opening this year, open on time at a Six Flags park, which never used to happen in the past, not very much anyway, but thankfully this has opened on time, it hasn't been delayed by a year. So that's good to see as well. And finally in the news today, Fire Runner has officially opened at Lost Island theme park. And this whole ride that's just opened just goes to show how well RMC Raptors, specifically these more cloned versions, fit into a park on a budget. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's got the brand new roller coaster officially opened to the public last Friday. Fire Runner is an RMC Raptor coaster located at Lost Island theme park in Iowa, United States. Built as an almost identical clone of Stunt Pilot at Silverwood, Fire Runner is the fourth roller coaster to open at Lost Island, which has been operating since June 2022. Though listed as a Stunt Pilot variation of the Raptor model, Fire Runner actually has a slight height difference, standing at 92 feet tall, as opposed to the max height of 105 feet on Stunt Pilot. Additionally, Fire Runner reaches a top speed of 52 miles per hour and sends riders through 3 inversions. These include a dive loop, a cutback and a corkscrew. Fire Runner is the 3rd Stunt Pilot clone to open worldwide, and the 8th Raptor coaster to be built by RMC anywhere in the world. So yeah, like I mentioned before, yes, it is a cloned coaster, but honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And for multiple reasons. One, it's an RMC Raptor, and I've never been on these type of rides before. Unfortunately, I've never had the privilege of going out to America or even to like Walibi Holland to go on Yoi, which opened a few months ago, to ride an RMC Raptor. But from what I've heard, they deliver such absolutely intense experiences. Like you see footage of like Railblazer or Jersey Devil coaster or Fire Runner or Stunt Pilot, and you see like the speed that they have, especially like the prototype versions with that original compact layout. You see it's only 52 miles per hour, but the speed that it goes at, because it's such a compact layout, it looks like it's going about 100 miles an hour with how intense that all the speed you get, and it looks, and the airtime as well that you'll get will be absolutely incredible. Not to mention it's good for parks on the budget, because RMC do sell these like as clone layouts, so they probably won't be that expensive, which means that parks on a budget like Lost Island potentially, because that park is mainly full of like cloned roller coasters. So you know, it's good that the RMC is selling these for parks on a budget, because it means they can have like a standout attraction which offers an intense, memorable experience. And I'm so glad that Lost Island theme park have proved that by opening Fire Runner. So that is it for this week's episode of Coaster News. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you would like to see in the next video. Goodbye.